Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be doing something a little bit different this time, as this weekend I was lucky enough to be invited to MCM ComicCon as a VIP guest, and honestly I had the best time. I literally felt like a kid in a candy shop as I was able to see the latest TV shows, movies, gaming, comic books, experiences, you name it. I saw it at this brilliant Comic-Con event at London Excel. If you've never been to Comic-Con, I would highly recommend it, as it is just such an incredible kind of event where you can meet other fans as crazy as you are about loads of different things. So it's just a really cool event. But anyway, at MCM ComicCon this weekend, I was able to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake Demo, and I can honestly say it is absolutely incredible. So after I played it, I thought it would be a really good idea to kind of talk about my thoughts on it in the usual way that we do on this channel. So with that being said, this is my first ever video game review, so sit back and relax as I'm going to be breaking down Final Fantasy VII the remake for you guys. Now, the story of Final Fantasy VII really is the stuff of legends. I have played all of the Final Fantasy games and all of the great, competitors within the RPG space, such as Evolution, Grandia, Skies of Arcadia, which are phenomenal games, and I will review those another time. But Final Fantasy VII really does kind of stand out from the crowd and really is kind of, having that leadership pinnacle point in terms of any games really, just because the story is so, detailed, the characters are so awesome, the kind of journey that the hero goes on is a lot of twists and turns, ups and downs, and yeah, just absolutely phenomenal. So from that point of view, the storyline from the classic game has been, maintained and is intact for the majority of this game. They have added a couple of new bits to kind of modernize it and to make it a little bit different to the experience that you've already had, but by and large the storyline is the same. It just really feels very different because obviously there's voice acting throughout the game this time, whereas before you had to kind of read it from the screen. So from an experience point of view, it is very different, but as far as the storyline goes, it is mainly the same thing that you've seen in the classic game. Speaking of characters, all of the phenomenal characters from the classic game are back in the remake. So we have Cloud, we have Sephiroth, we have Red, we have Barret, we have Tifa, we have Ares, we even have Rufus. Everyone from the classic game are back in the remake. And even though, we kind of know all of these characters, it does kind of feel like a brand new experience because obviously the graphics have been totally overhauled. It absolutely looks like a completely different game because it just looks so spectacular from a graphics point of view, but also the voice acting. I know I'm making a big deal about the voice acting, but the voice acting really does make it an absolutely new experience for Final Fantasy VII. It just kind of really does bring it to life. It kind of adds humor and kind of emphasis on certain kind of sentences and certain expressions that these characters are making. So, it's nice in the sense that it feels familiar and kind of new at the same time. But yeah, as far as the characters of roster goes in this game, they are absolutely legendary and awesome. From a visuals point of view, I honestly cannot express enough just how epic this game looks. Everyone has wanted the Final Fantasy VII remake for so many years now. The classic game did actually come out a very long time ago, and fans have been asking for the remake for a very long time. And it's good that they've kind of waited until the graphics are going to be at this high standard, as this epic game does kind of deserve to have, the best of the best when it comes to visuals. And I can honestly say that they've totally delivered in terms of bringing Final Fantasy VII to the modern age and to make it look just absolutely incredible. The fact that it's got a great storyline, phenomenal characters, and great visuals really does make it a spectacular masterpiece. Now, as far as comparisons go, there are a lot of differences between the classic game and the remake. And rightly so, because if you're going to be paying a lot of money for the remake, you kind of want to have a new experience. And we've spoken a lot about how the voice acting and the graphics kind of make it a brand new experience, but that's not the only thing that is different between the classic game and the modern remake. The main difference between the two is the fact that the gameplay is completely different. I was a little bit apprehensive when I was playing the demo, as I really loved the turn-based style mechanic in Final Fantasy VII, the classic game. Whereas this time they've really changed it up because it's a lot more dynamic, it's a lot more in real time. You don't kind of enter the battle, you kind of play it on the battlefield. So it's very different from a gameplay point of view. But that said, you know, whilst it is a lot more in real time, you do still have the mechanics that make Final Fantasy VII Final Fantasy VII. So, you know, you still have the move sets, you still have the limit breaks, you still have the materia system, you still have all the magic, you still have all of the different attacks that the different characters can do, you still control all of the different characters individually. So, you know, whilst the gameplay mechanic is very, very different to the original, and you know, the original is very beloved because the turn-based style just works so brilliantly, I would say if you are a little bit apprehensive, just give it a go, because the remake does kind of modernize the way in which you play the game, play with the different characters. And actually it's kind of nice in a different kind of way when you look at it, because it just kind of works in a way that modern gamers would want to experience Final Fantasy VII. So if you're a little bit apprehensive in terms of the gameplay being so radically different, I would just say just give it a go, as you may be pleasantly surprised. I just hope that they do Crisis Core next, because I feel like that would be a phenomenal game to kind of remake in the modern day, because we never really got to play that on the console. So I would love them to do Crisis Core next. Overall, I'm sure you can tell, I absolutely loved playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake Demo. I already cannot wait for the main game to drop in March 2020. And also, I just had a brilliant time at MCM ComicCon. I already can't wait for the next event within that kind of series, because I just had such a good time. Took some great pictures, met some great people, had some great experiences, and yeah, overall just loved my time over there. But as far as the Final Fantasy VII Demo Remake goes, I have to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.